My name is Katrina Bates, and I'm a survivor of the Carrollton bus crash that happened in 1988. Our church youth group was on our way back from a trip to Kings Island in Cincinnati, and on the way home, we were hit head-on by a drunk driver on the interstate. And when the truck that he was driving hit our bus, it caused a fire that engulfed the entire bus. When we first left Kings Island, I was sitting in the front seat behind the door of the bus, and then when we stopped to get gas, one of my friends was sick that had been sitting in the back and asked me if I would trade her seats. So I moved to 3 rows from the back of the bus, which ended up being a move that would save my life because my friend didn't survive where she was sitting. I think at first I was really in shock. I didn't think a lot about what had happened and, the fact that a lot of my friends were never going to be there again. It's kind of one of those things that you think, bad stuff happens to everybody else. Bad stuff doesn't happen to me. Something that bad couldn't happen to me. So, I think I was in shock and I blocked it out for a while. Didn't really want to face the reality of it. So when the truck first hit us, a lot of us thought that maybe we hit a deer. It really wasn't a big jolt, or like you would expect from a head-on collision. The damage that was done was because of the fire that started. When the impact first happened, I think everybody just kind of froze, and it was, like, what's going on? And they determined after the crash that no one would have died from the impact of the crash. There were only a few broken bones from the impact of the crash. Not only was the gas tank in the front, but it wasn't protected. A lot of the buses that were made shortly after had to have a cage around the gas tank to protect it. And what happened was a piece of the axle for the wheel came loose and went through the gas tank, and that's what started the fire. Just a few seconds before there was a big flame, and then the fire took over the bus really quickly. There were 27 people killed. 24 of them were children under 18. No, he lived. He had some injuries, ended up in the hospital for a few days. Things like broken ribs and a concussion, and doesn't have any recollection of the crash. Remembers being with his friends earlier in the evening and drinking, and the physical injuries weren't all that were suffered that day. And, your body heals, but sometimes your mind and your spirit is a little bit more challenging. My name is Katrina Bates, and I was 12 years old on the day of the Carrollton bus crash. Matt helped me with my healing process, and now I'm 35 years old with a family of 6, who to this day I share my experiences with and how Matt helped get me through.